Imagine you're scrolling TikTok. One video tells you to love yourself. The next, push harder, hustle, never settle. Then another, romanticizing slow living. And finally, someone telling you, you're already enough. It's not just a contradiction, it's a cacophony of micro-identities, a battle of slogans. Maybe you feel like you're drowning in mixed messages. Welcome to the modern dialectic. Confused, anxious, torn? Good, that means you're paying attention. What if I told you? That very confusion is not a glitch in the system. It's the starting point of your becoming. Hegel, one of the most complex and revolutionary philosophers in history, believed. Conflict is not the end of thought. It's the engine of growth. Hegel didn't believe in clear answers. He didn't even believe in static truth. He believed in movement, in contradiction, in becoming, not being. For Hegel, reality isn't a fixed object to be discovered. It's a process you are already entangled in. This process unfolds through what's popularly, though imperfectly, called thesis, antithesis, synthesis. You start with an idea, the thesis. It meets its opposite, the antithesis. They collide, struggle, sometimes implode. And from that tension, a synthesis arises, something new that absorbs and transcends both. But here's the twist. That synthesis, it becomes the next thesis, and the cycle continues, forever. It's not a straight line, it's not a circle, it's a spiral, rising, turning, evolving. And it's not just abstract metaphysics, it's happening inside you, right now. Every time you're torn between opposing desires, between self-love and self-discipline, between comfort and ambition, between who you are and who you want to be. You are not broken, you are becoming. Let's bring this home. Say you want to create, to grow, to change. But another part of you is tired, afraid, ashamed. We often call this being stuck. Hegel would call it dialectical tension, the part of you that wants safety, routine, predictability. That's your thesis. The part that longs for transformation, risk, rebirth, that's your antithesis. And when you stop running from the clash, when you stay in the discomfort, something new emerges, not a compromise, not a middle ground, but a third thing, a synthesis, a self you haven't met yet. Here's the hard truth. That version of you can't be reached by bypassing the pain. It's forged through the pain. Sound harsh? Camus might agree. He said, "The struggle itself is enough to fill a man's heart." The absurd condition is not solved. It's lived, endured, affirmed. Kierkegaard might push further. The self is not something ready-made, but something we must despair into through anxiety, into faith. And a post-structuralist like Foucault would whisper, "There is no stable self, only practices of self, games of power, scripts we rewrite." So what is this battlefield? It's not a war of identities, it's the terrain of transformation. Back to TikTok, or Instagram, or YouTube Shorts. These platforms flood you with micro-theses. Be soft, be hard, grind, heal, detox, indulge, forgive yourself, fix yourself. They present identity as content and selfhood as a branding exercise. But what they rarely offer is time to sit with contradiction. Because contradiction kills retention. It's not viral, it's not sexy. So the algorithm favors closure, certainty, simplicity. But dialectic is none of those things. It's messy, slow, spiritually inconvenient. It's the enemy of click-through rates. And yet, maybe what you need isn't another 15-second solution. Maybe you need to dwell in contradiction, long enough for something deeper to take root. We've been taught to treat confusion, pain, self-doubt as bugs in the system. But Hegel, and maybe life, flips the script. These aren't bugs, they're features of becoming. Pain isn't the opposite of growth, it's the cost of synthesis. Think of your biggest transformations. the heartbreak that shattered your illusions, the failure that killed your certainty, the shame that revealed your pride. These didn't ruin you. They disassembled you, so something more complex could emerge. Growth doesn't come from peace. It comes from staying unresolved, long enough for meaning to crystallize. So the next time you feel torn between stillness and striving, clarity and doubt, don't treat it as an error. Treat it as philosophy. Hegel didn't promise peace. He promised movement through contradiction. He called it Aufhebung, to negate, preserve, and elevate all at once. You don't escape conflict by picking a side. You transcend it by following it to its end. This isn't self-help. It's metaphysical labor. Camus would smirk here. Of course it's painful. We were never promised clarity, only revolt. Foucault would remind us, identity is a site of struggle, a construction, a discipline, a resistance. And Kierkegaard would ask, will you dare to become who you are, even if it means losing who you've been? You are not a final version of yourself. You are a process, dialectical, recursive, unfinished. And the fact that you suffer, that you feel contradiction, is not a flaw. It's the condition of your freedom. If you're tired of answers that ask nothing of you, and ready to think in ways that demand your participation, subscribe, not for certainty, but for clarity born through contradiction. Because philosophy doesn't save you, it transforms you.